Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to be showing you how we bath one of the horses ready for a show. So today I'm going to be using Barbie to show you what we do because I thought she'd be a good example as she's got a really white mane and tail and also white socks, so I can show you how we get those glistening. So she is a 4-year-old. She actually has never been to a competition, but she will be going soon. And yeah, she's just very pretty. So I'm going to take her to the wash box, and that is where they either get washed off after work when they're all sweaty, or we get them ready for the shows. Come on, Dressage. She's so cute. So well behaved. Over here we have Diamond White, which again is really good for whitening. I don't really have like a specific brand that I think is good. I think they're all pretty good. And then Hippie Scrub, which is more for like, that's more veterinary. And then we have our conditioner, which we just put in mane and tails. And not that many people use conditioner, but we find like it really helps their tails not to break. And then, yeah, it all is just a little bit better. And then they have like thick, luscious mane and tail. And I don't know what that is. That's just shampoo. But yeah, I think that's everything. And then we're just going to be using a bucket sponge. We don't have any like specific sponges to use. I think this is just a human one. So it has like a little scrubby side and a sponge side. And then we also have this, which again, it's just more of like a deep clean. We don't use this all the time because we don't like to take like the natural oils out of the horse. So I wouldn't say we bath our horses like I'm about to show you all the time. It's just for like special occasions for like shows and stuff, because it's really important that they keep their natural oils in the coat. So first we are going to start with doing the mane and tail. The reason I do this first is so that I can leave the conditioner in when I do the rest of the body and it can like really absorb and soak in. So first of all, we're just going to wet the tail. Good girl. Barbie's got the most beautiful tail, but she is quite disgusting with it. Like she always weaves in it. So she has to have a tail wash quite a lot. Good girl. So yeah, just get it wet all the way through and like try and get in it, because sometimes you can soak it on the outside and it doesn't get all in here. But really try and just get, like you would your own hair. All the girls will get this. Actually, guys wash their hair. Not you guys, dear. Yeah, so now that's wet, I'll just twist that and it should stop. Yeah. Cool. And then grab the shampoo. And then I tend to start at the top. There you go. So just massage it in. I know, you're being very good. Ooh, smells so good. Smells really good. And it's really good if you have nails as well, because you can like get in there. So yeah, I just start from the top and then just start working all the way down. It does take a little bit of time, especially when they've got a thick tail. And I find this little technique good. You scrub. Good girl. And then I think I'll just put a bit more water in. And then, sorry. And also, if you're getting ready for a competition and you've got a horse with a white tail or like stubbornly dirty, don't worry if you need to do it like twice or even 3 times, because it sometimes takes like 2 or 3 washes for it to get really clean. And also, a little tip for tails, you can get tail bags, which just keeps the tail clean. We don't have one, but they are good. Ooh. Oh, the other thing as well, she has got little black bits in her tail, which can look like they're dirty, but it's not. It's just the colour. Sometimes you can either like wash out the shampoo and just redo it again, but I'm just going to do it once this time, so it should be okay. But Like I said, if you want it really dazzling, just do it a couple of times. Good girl. Okay, so I'm just gonna wash that out and then we'll do the mane. It's really important as well with shampoo, you make sure you get it all out because it can get quite dandruffy and irritate them if you don't wash all of the suds out. So now I'm gonna wet her mane. Oh, good girl. Sorry, honey. And a tip as well when you're bathing, if your horse is funny with its head, don't point the hose that way to wet it. You see how I'm pointing it down? And just go up as high as you can. And if you can't get close to their head, just use a sponge because it's just less evasive. There we go. Good girl, good girl. There we go. So that's all wet now, and then we can put the shampoo in. So now I'm just putting the shampoo in. Good girl. And again, it's just the same thing as when you do the tail, just work it in. Honestly, this place is so noisy with animals. I don't think she's ever had her mane whitened. It's because it's normally so white. So I bet it'd be like, pow, platinum blonde. So as well, if you want to get really into it, you can comb it. It's just making sure that you've got all the bits. You can do this with conditioner as well. Good girl. Because she's so young, I probably won't whiten her forelock, just because I don't want to be too invasive, but you can do if you want to. Good girl. Okay, so that's that, and then we can wash it out. So now I'm going to do her white socks and just wet them first so it's all the way through to the skin. I know that sounds really stupid, but sometimes you wet things and because coats are a bit waterproof, it just slides off. So make sure, yeah, it's all nice and wet. And then I'm going to do this with a little scrubby brush. So I need to have multiple hands for this. Oh yeah, get this stuff, shum it in a bit. And then you go, just scrub away. So now we're going to wash her body, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some shampoo into a bucket of water, and then we're going to smush it all over her. I just find it easier than wetting her body and then putting shampoo on a sponge and all that. So just put a good glug in there, and then mix it up, mix it up. There's no technique to washing, where to start, but I tend to start at the top. Good girl. And just, I feel like this is an obvious thing to say, but circular motions. Yeah, just scrubbing away. Good girl. And also there's loads of different shampoos you can get. So say you have a bay horse, you can get a shampoo specific to bays, or say you've got a black horse, you can get one for black horses. And they just do them for all colours, I'm sure they have a Palomino one, but we tend to just use bog standard shampoo. So you just got to try and get in all the little crevices, like you do when you shower yourself. So now we're doing her head, and I've just unclipped the permanent tie, and she's just got a rope loop through here so I can hold her, so that sometimes horses can get panicked when you start putting water around their head, because basically why they don't like it is if water goes in their ear, they absolutely hate it. So I'm just really careful when we do this, because I don't want them to pull back and panic. So if I've got them here, I can move with them a little bit more. Yeah. So we'll just go in between the head collar. Good girl. Under the chin. You can as well, if your horse is okay, just undo the head collar to get in there, and then just do it back up. Good girl. I know, you've never had your face soapied before. Good girl. So yeah, this you just have to take a little bit more time. Like I wouldn't wet your sponge too much so it doesn't drip. Oh, you're very clever. Scrub-a-dub-dub. And again, just be careful you don't get it in their eyes, because obviously it's like us, soap and eyes. And I wouldn't suggest using a head collar like I am. You see the one that's got fluff, because the fluff gets wet. Shock, I've made an error again. Right, just do the other side. There we go, so that's all the soaping done. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna wash all the soap off. So what I tend to do is start with washing the soap off their heads, get all that done. And then we'll get all the soap off her body, and then I'm gonna condition the mane and tail, because I was meant to do it before I started scrubbing, but I forgot. But it's fine, we can still do it. Like, it won't make a massive difference. It's just you can leave the conditioner into soak as you do the rest of the body, but it'll still have the same effect. So let's get all the soap off her head. I tend to change the sponge, change the bucket, wash it all out. And again, yeah, I'll just show you what I do with their heads to get the soap off. So in the middle of winter, say they've got a show, we probably wouldn't bath them like this, because we don't want them to get like cold when they're drying. And also, say you haven't clipped your horse, you really don't want to like wet them all over and then it take hours for them to dry, because they are going to get so like quite cold. So if they are in the winter, if it is in the winter and we're competing, then we tend to either do like the baby oil thing or give them like a really good groom, unless it's like a really big competition. But it would take quite a lot for us to like wet them in the winter. But in the summer it's really nice and can be quite like refreshing for them. Good girl. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is do all her body and get the soap off that. So I'm going to condition her tail now. You can condition their manes as well, but I'm not actually going to do that today because I don't want to just keep wetting her up there. So we're going to use a human one, coconut milk conditioner. One, because it smells so great and it's not coming out. There we go. And yeah, just because it's the first one I found. So you have to get a little bit more than you'd use for your own hair. You don't have to do the tops, like again, that you do with your own hair. So I tend to start like here and then just comb it through with my fingers. Good girl. Oh, it smells so good. So nice. So that's that bit. You can comb through it with a comb to make sure like it all goes everywhere, and it can be quite like a good detangler. I'm just using my fingers because my mum bans combs in tails, and she'll kill me if she sees me, because she thinks it pulls the tail out, which it does. So how we tend to get stuff out their tails before work and stuff is like by picking it apart like this. It does take a little bit longer, but it saves the tail. So that's the top bit, and then I'll just get some more. So this is, I just wanted to show you, I'm not going to do it with the whole tail, but how you basically would like, you pull the tail apart and like tease it apart, and it's like, you see where you get a knot like this, instead of combing through it and being jagged, you just pull it apart, and it's just a little bit nicer. But we don't tend to like brush their tails before work every day because we want them to be like thick and luscious. Maybe at a show, that's the only occasion where we might, but yeah, and this is good, like it works the conditioner through. So now that's got all the conditioner through it, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna scrape her body. It's a technical term for using one of these, just to get the rest of the water off. I know there's no sweat on it, but that's what it's called, a sweat scraper. Get all the rest of the water off. You can, if it's really hot, let them drip dry. But I'll just show you what we do with this. So it's really weird. Normally these have like a rubber end and a harder end. You're meant to use the rubber end, but I don't think the rubber end ever works. So I use the harder end. I don't like push into it, but I feel like it does the job. So now I'm going to wash the conditioner out of her tail. And as you can see, it's all smooth. Beautiful. You'll see what I mean though about needing to do it a couple more times. Like when it dries, it will go lighter. But if I want it to look like that brightness all the way through, I'd have to do it a few times. But yeah, like I said, like that, for example, is the colour of her tail. So she's got like dark strands in it. She's just got highlights of blonde. So I'm going to show you how we get get the water out of their tails, but I just don't want to wet the camera. Do you want me to go now?
Yeah.
It's a technical way. That's just, yeah, to kind of rinse it off. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to towel dry bits of her. I'm going to towel dry her mane and her legs and maybe her face. We do this again in the winter so that their legs don't just stay wet, because that's when they can get like sores and stuff on their legs. Or say they're going to go back out in the field. We don't want to put boots over the top of wet legs, so we make sure they're nice and towel dry, and it just keeps them all healthy and good. And I think it's just nice for their face as well. So I'm going to do that. That doesn't have to be done, but it's just something that we do. Let me get a towel. Okay, so a good technique for drying legs is fold said towel, place it like so, and then shimmy. And then you can go there, shimmy in there, and then you just move around and do that bit. Tricks of the trade, this. And you just do it with each leg. So we're all done now. And we can put her back in her stable. Come on, little one. You're gonna have to walk faster. Come on, down the hill. But first, I think we need to get her a treat. Ready? You stay there. Come here. Someone's gonna say, don't feed a horse like that, by the way. Palms flat, fingers in. Is that yes? Yes! So she's had a little treat and now she can go back to bed. Do you know she's getting turned out in the field after this? I'm gonna be like, no! Don't roll! Good girl. Keep going. Keep going. Oh, and we've got some dinner! Oh, yummy. So there is the video how we bath our horses. I hope you guys found it useful and got some tips from that. But yeah, just stay tuned for more videos that we're doing. We're going to be doing things like this, we're going to be doing things on mindset, all that sort of thing. But yeah, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything, and you can catch the next one.